Leo, you have your mic.
Hi, Cesar.
Hi.
Hi. I have a question that came out while I drove when I was really tired. I noticed that I cannot hold my sense of self. I cannot hold the I am because I was so tired. The only thing was to keep focused on the road, and so it came like a conflicted. And I want you to maybe to sort this out about how to the right approach of effort of while also doing things that require more concentration or focus.
It is possible to perform any activity and to do the inquiry simultaneously. It is what it is suggested. So you are driving the car, you see the road, but you also see your mind when it gets activated. So you don't have to remove the thoughts for the practicality of daily life. Let's call it knowledge, right? To drive the car, you need knowledge. You need to know how to drive the car. You need to know the rules and so on. You don't have to worry about it because it is there. It's part of your memory, and it will come to your rescue when it is necessary. You have to pay attention when the idea, I am the body, I am the doer, I am the thinker of the thought arises. When the body identity arises. And you can simply ask, whose thoughts are these? Right? And they will disappear.
Okay.
The mind will be quiet, okay? You still may be identified with the body while driving the car, washing the dishes or whatever it is, right? This thought I eventually collapses. And what remains is this I amness, which is not a thought, which is not an idea.
Okay.
And then
so
you may lose body identity while driving the car, while washing the dishes, while making some calculations. And that will not be an obstacle for anything. See? The loss of body identity, most of the saints, sages, and seers, they live like that. They perform their duties or their activities efficiently without the ego sense or without body identity. When you lose body identity, when you are there as the I amness, which is consciousness, then that which is aware of consciousness, the absolute reveals itself by itself, to itself, as your own self, as your nameless, formless reality.
Okay.
Okay?
As I understand what you say, that the action of the no action, you might say, during the action is maybe more loosening the identity.
Yes.
To perform the required action.
No, quiet means quiet mind, which is no mind, is silence. It's not the absence of the knowledge that you need for the practicality of daily life. Silence is the absence of me, the apparent doer of the action, thinker of the thought.
Yeah. Yes.
The activities of the body are happening mostly automatically, unconsciously. And the activities of the mind happens automatically, unconsciously, whether there is ego or not, because both of them are subject to the will of the Absolute, including the appearance of the ego, the apparent seeking, the seeker, and the dissolution of the ego. All that is because of the will of that nameless, formless reality, which is nothing but your own self.
So it's as I understand, it's more of loosening the attachment to
the body.
the identity.
Body attachment means body identity. It means the same.
Yes. Okay.
Vilma is not there.
Okay. No more question. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Цезарь и Настя, привет.
Привет.
У меня после вчерашнего разговора с Цезарем у меня ушло желание осознать себя и появился покой вечером. Я продолжу сейчас. Настя, наверное, удобнее будет перевести.
After we chatted yesterday, the desire to realize myself disappeared and peace appeared.
No, this peace must be mental, because if it appears now and disappears later, it cannot be real.
Такой покой, он должно быть ментальный, потому что если он появляется сейчас и исчезает позже, то он нереален.
Real peace of silence is permanent.
Настоящий покой или тишина постоянны.
No beginning, no end.
У них нет ни начала, ни конца.
Eternal.
Они вечные.
And it is the natural state of the absolute.
Это и есть естественное состояние абсолюта.
Absolute silence itself is the absolute.
Абсолютная тишина сама по себе и есть абсолют.
This is why it is called the enduring, unbroken background of silence.
Поэтому она и называется непрерывный фон тишины.
So what you call silence is mental peace.
То, что вы называете тишиной, это ментальный покой.
Because it is mental, it is illusory.
Поскольку он ментален, он иллюзорен.
I'm not saying it is bad.
Я не говорю, что это плохо.
That's good enough so far.
Это уже достаточно хорошо.
Because if you ask who is quiet, the answer is me.
Потому что если вы спросите, кто тихий, то ответом будет я,
What is his name?
Руслан.
And who is free from thoughts is? What is his name?
Руслан.
Ruslan.
Руслан.
Ruslan, right?
Кто свободен от мыслей, Руслан.
So I still means body.
Я все еще означает тело.
So if the I thought is free from all the thoughts,
Если я мысль свободна от всех остальных мыслей,
it will disappear
то она исчезает.
because it lives in association with the other thoughts.
It lives.
It lives based on other, it survives. See?
Потому что она выживает за счет связи с другими мыслями.
Are you following?
Понимаете?
Да.
Even if the body identity or the I am the body disappear, there is an I amness.
Даже если отождествление с телом или the body identity
Or the I am the body idea.
Отождествление исчезает, то even if it disappears,
There is the I amness.
остается я ясность.
But the I amness is not the it's just I amness, it's just consciousness.
Но это я ясность, это только сознание.
So real silence is the reality of that
Настоящая тишина — это
which is aware of the I amness.
реальность, которая осознает я ясность.
Ну, я пока не чувствую это. Это нормально. Постепенно всё.
Yeah, even quiet mind is basically consciousness that it still hasn't lost the identity with the body.
Тихий ум — это все еще сознание, которое не потеряло пока отождествление с телом.
Да, я понимаю.
When the loss of the body identity takes place, it is obvious.
Когда происходит потеря отождествления с телом, то становится очевидно.
Because you will see your body
Вы будете видеть ваше тело,
as any other body.
будете воспринимать его таким же, как все остальные тела.
Then you lose the identity with one body and regain an
Вы
identity
потеряете отождествление с одним телом
with a totality of form.
и восстановите отождествление с тотальностью форм.
То есть я, получается, буду...
And then you as consciousness
Затем вы, как сознание,
will not see anything separate,
не будете больше видеть ничего отдельного,
different
отличного
from you as consciousness.
от вас.
It is called non-duality
Это называется
or
недвойственность
non-separation.
или неразделенность.
But that still is at the level of consciousness.
Но все это все еще находится на уровне сознания.
That which is aware of non-duality is beyond non-duality.
То, что осознает недвойственность, находится за ее пределами.
Is beyond body identity or no body
За
identity.
пределами отождествления или не отождествления с телом.
That which is aware knows absolutely nothing,
То, что осознает, не знает ничего.
neither as separate or united with it, because everything is it.
Не знает ничего, что было бы единым с ним или отдельным от него, потому что все есть оно,
Including consciousness.
включая и сознание.
Therefore, that alone is.
Следовательно, есть только то.
Логично.
Логика.
Но, правда, можно еще добавить? Сегодня днем я осознавал уже несколько, не ментальный покой, а ну, может быть, это такой покой, может быть, нет, который был позади меня, скажем так. И я всегда мог, ну, скажем так, войти в него, если хотел.
Today I became aware of the peace that was behind me, and I could at any moment enter in it if I wanted to.
Sorry?
Today I became aware of the peace that was behind me, so to say, and at any moment, if I wanted to, I could enter in it.
Yeah, there is nobody that could enter there.
Нет никого, кто может туда войти.
Everything is there as that.
Все есть это. Точнее, все уже есть там,
you
так
still-
сказать, как то.
What I mean is that you still believe that you are the I that
Вы же
enters it.
считаете, что вы это какое-то я, которое входит туда.
Is that I disappears,
Если это я исчезает,
what becomes obvious is that alone is.
то становится очевидным, что есть только то.
Even if consciousness loses the identity with the body,
Даже если сознание теряет отождествление с телом,
then there will be a statement, I am that.
there will be,
The statement, I am that.
то тогда будет осознавание вот это, что я есть то.
So consciousness loses the identity with the body
Сознание теряет отождествление с
and
телом
regain an identity with that.
и восстанавливает отождествление с тем.
Meaning by that it becomes obvious also that consciousness is identical with the absolute existence.
Становится очевидно, что сознание идентично абсолютному
But still
существованию.
we have two.
Но все еще существует двое.
I am and that.
Я есть и то.
So if I am is that,
Если я есть то,
then the I am also disappear as having separate existence
то
also.
тогда я есть исчезает тоже как нечто отдельное.
And again, it is very clear that alone is.
И тогда становится очень понятно, что есть только то.
Call it whatever you like,
Можете называть это как хотите.
the absolute,
Абсолют,
the emptiness,
пустота,
the void, Parabrahman,
Парабрахман,
that,
то
whatever, it doesn't matter.
неважно.
That which is aware,
То, что осознает.
absolute silence,
Абсолютная тишина.
the supreme,
Всевышний.
is not called, it is called like that. It is named like that, all what I said. The Supreme, the Absolute. It is named as such.
Это так называют.
But it is not, see, the name. See,
Но оно не есть имя.
all these, I don't know, how you call it? All these words are just to refer to it, that's all.
Все эти слова нужны для того, чтобы просто указать на это.
But in reality, it's beyond reference,
Но на самом деле оно находится вне любых указаний,
descriptions.
описаний.
Я понимаю это.
Can be explained.
Его невозможно объяснить.
For me, it simply is.
Мне кажется, что оно просто есть.
And it is, sorry,
Будьте здоровы.
and it is as it is.
И оно есть такое, какое оно есть.
И у него нет проблем, да?
It doesn't have any problems.
Not at all. Doesn't even know what that means.
Но не знает даже, что такое проблема.
Ну, на интеллектуальном уровне все понятно. Ну, даже это, я думаю, хорошо. Поэтому спасибо.
Intellectually, I understand, and I think it's already good enough.
No, intellectually understanding is okay.
Интеллектуальным пониманием все в порядке.
Quiet mind is okay.
С тихим умом тоже все в порядке.
A quiet mind leads to the mindless state.
Тихий ум ведет в состояние не ума.
But the mindless state, the thoughtless state belongs to consciousness.
Но состояние не ума или без мысли принадлежит сознанию.
То есть это не мое состояние, это его состояние.
So it's not my state, it's its state.
Ego is basically I and mine.
Эго — это я и мое.
Habit, привычка, да? Привычка.
Habit.
But
Что привычка?
yes,
Да.
Да,
Give it
то
up.
есть
Откажитесь от...
Постараюсь.
Продолжай.
good.
Хорошо.
Спасибо.
Здравствуйте, Цезарь. Здравствуйте, Настя. Меня слышно?
Здравствуйте, да.
У меня такой вопрос. Как определить, в какой момент самоисследование превращается в практику? То есть мне кажется, что я неправильно провожу самоисследование, и все попытки следить за мыслью, я сначала подумал мысль, а потом только осознал, потом только ее уже увидел после. И мне кажется, что это больше я умом делаю, то есть все это как практика, она не помогает. По крайней мере, мне так кажется.
How not to turn the self-inquiry into a practice, because I think I'm doing it wrong, since I only see a thought after it appears, and then I'm able to track it back.
It's not a practice, it's who is the practicer.
He's asking how not to do it as a practice.
I'm just answering, who is the practicer?
Спрашиваете, кто является практикующим?
You are questioning the reality of the practicer
Вы ставите под вопрос реальность практикующих
and your identity as such
и
with it.
свою идентичность с ним.
I am a seeker.
Я являюсь ищущим.
I means body.
Я означает тело.
And who is this I?
Либо смотрите, что это за я.
Or from where this I emerged.
Либо смотрите, откуда это я возникает.
It either keeps quiet
Оно либо замолкает,
or it disappears.
либо исчезает.
Но я пытаюсь сделать это умом. Это правильно или нет?
I'm trying to do it with the mind. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct.
Нет.
That's a problem.
В этом проблема.
So you are doing it with the mind, as the mind, because you believe that you are the mind.
Вы думаете, это умом, как ум, потому что считаете, что вы это ум.
Because you believe you are the body.
Вы считаете, что вы это тело.
Just find out who thinks I am the body.
Выясните, кто думает, я являюсь телом.
Who thinks I?
Кто думает, я.
And this thought I merges back to the actual thinker,
И тогда я, мысли, возвращается к мыслящему.
which is consciousness,
Мыслящее — это сознание.
which is an I amness, which is not a thought.
Это я естьность, которая не является мыслью.
It's the knowledge I am, but
Сознание я есть,
is not the thought I am.
но не как таковая мысль я есть.
Knowledge of being,
Знание бытия,
knowledge of existence,
знание существования,
a sense of self,
чувство самости.
which is consciousness.
Это сознание,
It's a conscious self,
осознающее я.
which in deeper sleep is unconscious.
В глубоком сне оно не осознает.
Unconsciousness.
Это бессознательное.
Спасибо, буду пробовать.
Thanks, I will try.
Цезарь, я тут подумал, что я сказал, что постараюсь не присваивать себе состояние. Но это же, опять же, ум, да, говорит, что он обещает что-то сделать. Ну, может быть, вы подскажете, как это лучше сделать?
I just saw that I told you that I will try not to claim any state as mine, is my own, but isn't it the mind giving promises?
Hey, you are promising things to yourself.
Вы обещаете самому себе.
The mind is the promise.
Ум — это обещание.
If you identify yourself with the promise, then I promise.
Если вы отождествляетесь с обещанием, то тогда получается, что я обещаю.
I promise that I will be what I am.
Я обещаю, что я буду тем, что я есть.
It amounts to that.
Все сводится к этому.
Ну, это же глупо, да?
Цели?
You tell me.
Не знаю, вы мне скажите.
You are not asking, you are telling this to yourself also.
Вы не спрашиваете, вы себе вот это тоже рассказываете.
So, again, it amounts to how silly I am
И сводится к тому, какой я глупый.
to promise to be what I am.
Как глупо обещать себе быть тем, что я есть.
Ну, какие способы есть? Кто, скажем так, вопрос себе задать, чье состояние, либо осознавать свою бытийность, то есть осознавать то, что я есть. Как лучше?
What is the best way? How to do it in the best way? To ask myself whose states are those, or to look at my
He's asking the same question again and again, and the answer is the same.
Вы задаете один вопрос снова и снова и снова, и ответом всегда тоже одинаковый.
That means I said something, enter here, went out there.
Я что-то сказала, но из одного в одно ухо вошло, из другого вылетело.
Now what comes out of here is just for the sake as a futile, silly, also intellectual debate.
И происходит вот этот пустой, интеллектуальный, бессмысленный разговор.
Что делать?
Что?
Что делать тогда?
What to do then?
Simply keep quiet.
Давайте тихими.
That will do.
Этого будет достаточно.
Mentally quiet.
Ментально тихими.
Even you as the ego, if you are free from thoughts, questions are thought, these questions will not arise.
Даже... Sorry, can you repeat that?
Even if you as the ego keep quiet,
Даже если вы как эго остаетесь тихими,
these questions will not arise.
то тогда вопросы эти все не будут возникать.
Спасибо. Thank you.
Anand,
Hello, Cesar. Cesar, ask
yeah.
two questions. One is how to learn Spanish in 24 hours. Second question, I am that is also a thought.
Yeah,
Then why is it a better quality thought than any other thought?
who is saying that it's a better quality thought?
You.
No, I didn't
Because
say
you,
so.
you
When? Show me when and where did I say that?
because just because you recommend to say that.
Yeah, I am that denies I am the body. That's all. It's called the affirmative approach. The negative approach or the negation approach is I am not the body. Negation, I am not the body. Affirmation, I am that or I am the self, and so on. Still is a thought.
Yes.
And that thought excludes the other thought. And that thought also disappears. And then there is a thoughtless state, which is a state of consciousness, I amness, beingness.
Yes.
When consciousness is free from body identity, then that absolute existence reveals itself.
To itself, by itself.
And then by direct knowledge, we say, I am that. But it's not the thought, I am that I believe. I am. See, still is a belief, right? Now it is a fact. For this I am and that means still apparently there are two. I am that.
Better to say I am.
No, this is also, this I amness disappears, meaning by that, if I amness is not a separate nor united with that, but that, then that alone is. So in the I am that statement, still there is ego because there is somebody identifying now with the absolute before with the relative.
Yes.
I amness is consciousness. That which is aware of the I amness is the absolute. But from the absolute point of view, there is nothing. We are speaking from the consciousness. All this is in the field of consciousness. The loss of body identity belongs to consciousness. The absolute is beyond identity or no identity, or the identity with the absolute. Right? Identity with the body, no identity with the body, identity with the absolute, all that is in the realm of the illusion. All that takes place in the awakening state. In deep sleep, what is all that? All that is gone. Right? So even samadhi, okay, the state of non-differentiation, when consciousness loses identity with the body and sees the world contained within it. See, I am one with the world, that's oneness. See, this oneness is also in the field of consciousness. Duality, non-duality, see? Identity, no identity. Differentiation, non-differentiation. Samadhi means non-differentiation, right? Even if samadhi becomes natural and effortless, right? It still is at the level of consciousness. See? Saha samadhi, right? When you make an effort to hold it, it's called nirvikalpa samadhi. When there is no effort, it's called salvikalpa samadhi. But salvikalpa is also impermanent. So it is nirvikalpa. When it becomes permanent, when body identity is when the loss of body identity is permanent, it's called samadhi, saha samadhi, right? But that is a natural state of consciousness. See? There is awareness of all that, and awareness doesn't need samadhi. It couldn't care less. It simply is, with or without ego, with or without samadhi, with or without identity with it, the absolute, all that is, it just is.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a long way.
To where? And for whom? How far can you be from what you are? And what is the road that leads there? See? And who is going to walk that road?
I'm talking about practice.
What practice? This is not a practice. Who is a practicer? Or from where the idea of being a practicer emerges? That's all. That's the inquiry. Who practices I? Who is this I? Or from where this I emerged? It collapses. See? Like Ramana Maharshi says, it creates falling. Boom.
It's quite impossible to do it all day long. To be
That's
like
also
in
that's also a thought. If you can think it is impossible, you can also think it is possible. No excuses. I won't take them.
Okay. Gracias.
Now, if you want, there is no way to learn Spanish. You ask this question right now.
It's a joke.
I know. So come to Venezuela and learn
Yes,
Spanish
yes.
slowly. It's going to be
Yes.
easy for you because you speak French, and it is a little bit
Yeah.
similar.
I understand, and then comes a word that I don't understand, and then it's gone. Very frustrating. Okay.
So all these thoughts are based in body identity. When I means body, that's all. So you have to check. So you have to differentiate between knowledge and thought. Knowledge is, 2 plus 2 is 4. French language, English language, mathematics, the memory that you have about how to come from here to there. All that knowledge will not disappear. That knowledge is necessary for you to live your daily life, right? It is the thought I, which is based on identity with the body and the knowledge accumulated in that body. So silence, in this context, which is still illusory, okay, is not the absence of knowledge, right? It's the absence of me, who claims this knowledge is mine, this body is mine, right? I and mind. So who is this I that claims I am doing this and doing that, I'm going here and going there? And who is this I that knows this and knows that? The body and knowledge, memory. Past. If the mind does not disappear, at least keeps quiet. Because the thought I, body identity, still is there, right? Isolated, perhaps from any other thought, including knowledge, right? That's quiet mind. It's not the mindless, thoughtless state, because the thought I am the body still is there, right? So the thoughtless state means loss of body consciousness. And the thoughtless state is not, that's a natural state of consciousness prior to body identity. So the absolute forcibly, logically must be even beyond the thoughtless state. So quiet mind leads to mindless state, and mindless state leads to realization, which is to what is beyond the mindless state, the thoughtless state. The thoughtless, not the thoughtsless. The thoughtless still is mind. When people say, "Oh, I am in peace, I have no thoughts," right? But I still means body. See, thoughts, plural, less, but the singular thought I still is there. Now, the thoughtless is when this singular thought is gone. Even though when the loss of body identity is gone, right, we still refer to oneself as the body when we say I, but we know that it is a thought. This I thought is the apparent individual self, individual soul, person, right? So that can no longer be called ego, because it is no longer believed to be a separate entity. It is just a conglomeration of thoughts. Then who cares about the mind and the individual or the whatever? You can even keep few tendencies for yourself. Who cares? Even Baba said that those who realize the self, he mentioned men, but women is also applicable, right? You see, the married man, see, that lost the ego sense, may keep some pleasure for himself, see, which is the loving care of the wife, and the tasty food if she knows how to cook well, and so on. All this is body stuff, who cares?
Anyway, personality remains.
Yeah, the person is gone. See, some aspects, the ego personality is gone, right? You may still, a part of the personality or temperament includes, you live in India, you like your chapatis with your curry, right? And so on. You may like to do some sport, music, art, painting, singing, dancing, surfing. It doesn't matter. This is harmless. See? What appears to be harmful is the ego associated with all that, identified with all that, right?
Yeah.
The way you dress, the way you walk, the way you eat, the way you decorate your house. That, I mean, you may or you may not, right, be able to fulfill such things. I may like my chapati with curry. I go to the cafe. There is no chapati. There is no curry. There is only porota and with eggs. Well, so be it. You know what I'm saying? I may like surfing. I go to the beach and the beach is flat. That sucks. What to do? Go back home and do something else. I mean, you're not going to freak out if your likes and dislikes does not become materialized. See? I would rather be in Thailand than in Venezuela, but here we are, right? What to do?
Oh, wow, wow, wow.
Wow, what? Or in New Zealand,
Mhm.
or in Australia. And I don't know about Australia. But, Even Ramana, right? This ashram is a jail. And this sofa is a bondage, right? When I came here, right, for bed, I had the floor. For dishes, I have my hands. And for a roof, I have the ceiling. See? And you are the jailers. Then I have to sit here in this couch 24 hours a day and listen to all this stuff. That means he would rather be free wandering around but he couldn't manage only a certain amount of time a day when he will say, okay, cheers and goodbye, go for a walk, and he will come. See, he will ask a few people, you guys come with me because you won't bother me. Right? So let's go. He will not trouble me with questions and all this stuff. He didn't like coffee. And there was a person, Lakshmi or whatever, say, why you keep on giving me coffee? You don't know that I don't like coffee. Somebody asked him, what do you like the best? To sit here quietly and do nothing. And yet he couldn't all the time to sit there quietly and do nothing. Right? This is harmless for the sage, couldn't care less. Still, if it is uncomfortable, it is uncomfortable. Right? And if it is comfortable, it is comfortable. If it is unpleasant, it is unpleasant. If it is pleasant, well, enjoy for as long as it lasts. And if it is unpleasant, yeah, bear it for as long as it lasts. What to do? What is the choice? Or is the chooser of the choice? How do you say, do you understand in French?
Tu comprends?
Huh?
Tu comprends?
Tu
Tu
comprends?
comprends?
Ti.
Tu is
Okay.
you.
Ah, but how do you say U?
Vous comprenez? Vous
Ah,
comprenez?
vous comprendez. Spanish, tú entiendes.
But that is preference.
Huh?
If Ramana says, I'd
So
rather
what?
be somewhere else. That's
So what?
preference.
So what? Whose preferences are these? It's nobody's preferences. It was never somebody even likes and dislikes. Not even the likes and dislikes belong ever to anybody because nobody was ever there.
It's not like undifferentiated state. It's a differentiated state.
In the non-differentiated means no difference. If there is likes and this, it makes no difference. Right? Whatever happens makes no difference. Whatever is there makes no difference.
Mhm.
And Ramakrishna Paramahansa, right? One of the most respected, famous sages of India. See, my favorite dish is fish curry, right? And at the end of the day, right, when the sadhus will have some social time, he will have a couple of cigarettes.
Ok, je comprends.
Très bien. Huh? Can I say like
Très
that?
bien. Très bien.
Très bien. So you teach me French and I'll teach you Spanish.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, love. Good to see you and talk to you. Come.
Yes, next year.
Okay.
It's there all the time.
Good. Well, it is here all the time. Here is here all the time. Okay. Bernie, where are you going? Am I going there? I hope you are not driving, otherwise look at the road. Azim. Still in Rishikesh? Where are you? Gone. Ah, there you are. Still in Rishikesh?
Yes, tomorrow I am leaving, but today I'm in Rishikesh.
Where are you going?
And tomorrow for 1 day to Haridwar and then to Delhi. And in Delhi 3 days and then to home, to Odisha.
Odisha. So, spiritual holidays over for now.
Yes, for now, yes.
Good. How is Rishikesh? Is it cold now? No.
No, it's raining sometimes and it is like daytime, I think 32, 33. So it's sweating because there is cloud. Yeah.
Good. I used to stay in a hotel called Green Hotel.
Green Hotel. Where is that? Which?
In Rishikesh, somewhere there.
Okay, I will search it in the map.
It's called Green Hotel.
I'm in this area called Tapovan. Do you know?
Oh.
It's near Lakshman Jhula, that area.
I don't know. I really don't. I'm not familiarized with the name of the areas, but it's a nice place. Just walking distance to the Ganges.
It's nice, but I think when you came and now there is a lot of difference, I think, because lot more construction and buildings, etc.
Can imagine. Good to see you, bro. I have to carry on scrolling right and left to see.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see
Love you, man.
you.
Compadre. No, Ricardo G. Peter. Irina. Can't see you. So dark. Nina Larionova. Oh. Lilia. See, I still can read Russian. Lilia Kamaeva, I believe. Oscar Cactus. Uy, Elena. Marius, I guess it's Marius Garbe from Lithuania, I believe. Vilma couldn't come today. I guess Julia is Julia on Facebook, right? Samadhi. Blessings. Matis. Also blessing me. Thank you for the blessings. Irina G. Smirnova. Ludmila, body mechanics. Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
I have a question. I watch my kids. One is 4 years old and another is 7. And when they were born, they didn't have any ego. They didn't have any identity. And now I see how ego is forming and becoming stronger. And now watching you, listening you, I wonder why we have to get through this process of first coming with no ego, then forming an ego, and then realizing that it's just a thought and try to not get rid of it, but
it is a program. See?
It's a program. So can I help them somehow at this early stage when it's not solid enough?
Well, get rid of your ego first. Meaning by that, realize that it doesn't exist. And then you can help others to become aware of the fact that the ego is just not there. It's just an idea. It's a superimposition of consciousness on itself, limiting itself to a particular name and form.
Yeah. But maybe it's easier for them to get rid of ego first.
Nobody can tell. See, consciousness in human is the same in the animal. Everything possesses consciousness. Even what the scientist says, these are sentient beings, these are insentient beings, that is not accurate.
Yeah.
So this is how life is played out in terms of duality. So the ego is even part of the survival mechanism of the species.
Of course, yeah.
Because a cat has to recognize a dog so he can run away from that, right? Or a sardine has to recognize a whale so he can try to. Now, in the whole nature, there is something called survival mechanism, right? This survival mechanism is based on competition and that competition generates violence. Here, everybody is running after someone to eat it, and everybody is running away from someone not to be eaten. Even some trees develop thorns, see, as a survival mechanism, right? So the survival mechanism is there in the body, see, in matter. The ego is the identity with that, right?
Yeah.
So in human beings, that survival mechanism based in competition and the violence, aggressiveness that comes with it, it became a problem, right? This is a chaos. So the absolute to bring order, so to speak, within its own chaos, it begins to remove a little bit of ego here and there and here and there and here and there, right? So, to my knowledge, that mechanism changes, see, from competition, aggressiveness, violence, to cooperation. And, Mami, what is the word? Cooperation and... when I used to say that there is competition, aggressiveness, and I say cooperation and coexistence, right? So if there is ego, you will take normally more than what you need. That's what is called aggressiveness towards nature, right? Even there is a good ego, right, which is still is ego that doesn't take more than what it needs, but it still is me, right, the good guy that takes care of nature and protect the environment. It still is me, right?
Yeah.
all the naturalists and the environmentalists and all that, still there is ego there, and it's still they are in conflict with the bad ego. See, so it's a conflict between ego. That's the eternal conflict between good and evil, right?
And both are thoughts.
Yeah, it's the same thought. I am the good guy and you are the bad guy. I look after nature and you don't care about nature, right? And I'm better than you. I am vegetarian, you are not vegetarian, you drink alcohol and I don't drink alcohol, you are material, I am spiritual. It's the same blah, blah, blah from the same me. It's the same me, just taking different shapes like a chameleon.
Yeah.
Now, in the child, the ego is present in a potential state. So that possibility is there out of the infinite amount of possibilities. Right? So all possibilities are there, all, see, because an absolute that does not contain within itself infinite amount of possibilities is not an absolute at all. So everything is there and everything can come into existence, right? Or get materialized, any possibility. So as long as the ego is there, we perceive things according to one's mind. From the absolute point of view, right? It is all one and the same. So in the child, the possibility of developing an ego is there, is dormant. And apparently from outside, from the society, the culture, family, etc., we begin to tell the child, you are a man, you're a girl, see, your name is this, right? That's the name for the body. If you check your body everywhere, it's not written anywhere, Julia, female. Where are you from?
Russia.
Where in Russia?
Moscow.
Moscow. So I am Julia, I am a woman, I am from Russia, I am Moscovite, I am this, I am Christian or whatever it is. All these came from outside. This is something that you learn. And then you begin to act and react, conditioned by all that. So that's cultural condition based on beliefs, right? There is another form of conditioning which is harmless. Russian language is harmless. There is nothing good or bad about any of mathematics. If there is ego, you're going to use that in this way or another. So you're going to be a good Russian or a bad Russian, right? A bad girl or a good girl, and so on. So the good and the evil is the same ego, two sides of the same coin. And that is obviously reflected in the world, nowadays especially, which is even such a confusion because the East is the evil and the West is the good, and then the other one says the other thing, and there's a major and there's a mess up. Right? And still that mess up is also a possibility, because this mess doesn't have the free will to be there, right? It's not independent. It's not a separate, independent movement, right? You live in Russia? In Moscow?
Well, I was born in Siberia,
Oh, nice.
and then I studied in London for like 9 years.
I've been in Siberia. It's a nice place.
Have
I
you been
guess-
in Kemerovo?
Irkutsk is part of Siberia, right? Irkutsk.
Yeah.
I have good friends there. I was offered to live there, and I nearly took the invitation, but then I was thinking about the people, right? How do they get here, and the cold and all that stuff. I was offered to live right by the benches of the Angara River.
Mhm.
The Angara joins Baikal Lake.
That's beautiful place.
Beautiful. I was offered a house there, beautiful, all organic, and these traditional Russian houses with there is no one nail in the construction. It was all green and recycling and solar panels and etc. etc. A good friend said, like 5 or 6 houses. So choose one and stay here. And I was very tempted, just to be completely isolated.
What stopped you?
You guys, because somehow, see, there is a movement towards make it more, to make myself more accessible, so to speak, so you can reach me somehow easier.
Are you in Venezuela now?
Yeah, I am in homeland, Venezuela, and in Margarita Island. I grew up here. I arrived here in 1973. I was born in 1969. I was 4 years old. And I really love this place. The whole political situation and economy, well, that's all over the world nowadays, but this is a lovely place to, still is a lovely place to be.
The ocean, surfing.
Yes. So, what else?
Thank you.
So, remember when Jesus said the first remove the sand, the thorn in your eyes, and then you're going to remove the thorn in the eye of the other ones. A blind person cannot lead another blind person. So, if there is ego, so how can you help anybody to remove the ego? It's going to be the ego trying to remove the ego. Ooh. And that can get quite funny.
Yeah. Never-ending circle.
Yes. It's interesting because Many people say, no, kill the ego, remove the ego. The question here is, who is the ego? Right? We are questioning the reality, the existence of such apparent individual self in the it doesn't exist. The only way is removing the ego really means to become aware of the fact that it is not even there. It never existed. It was a thought all along. It's a conglomeration of thoughts that begins with the I thought. Right? As I said before, when you know what the mind is, it's still functioning, right? But the idea that there is a separate individual self, individual soul, person, you cannot call that mind ego anymore because it's no longer perceived as a separate entity. It's part of the totality. It's not part, it's the totality, because the totality cannot be divided in parts, right? So we don't bother anymore about the mind. The mind is no longer an issue. And you carry on when the ego is gone, you carry on living your life. I have kids and I have a partner and I have to drive in to the school and pick them up and etc., etc., etc. I have to do shopping, I have to cook, I have to clean, like everyone else. That goes on. The ego is gone, see, and the show also goes on. The show must go on, right? It's just that you don't overreact to it.
Yep, I see.
Reactions will be there. If it aches out, that's painful, right? And if it is nice, wow, that's nice. Thank you, right? But there is no, oh, it's so nice, and see all the exaggeration, the overreaction, right? Oh, it aches. Oh, damn it! See, it's like a thought that stops there and then. Oh, this is really, really nice. Oh, this is a nice meal. This is a lovely corner. I'm sitting this sofa. And, wow, this is a comfortable place. The AC and wow, nice. And you enjoy it for as long as it lasts. Because you say this is nice, and the thought about it finishes, and the niceness continues, right? If it is unpleasant, you say, oh, Jesus, this is, oh my God, this place is uncomfortable and these people, and it finishes there, and the unpleasantness carries on, right? Both pleasantness and unpleasantness will how to call it? Will finish, right? A little bit of this, a little bit of by itself. How that movement happens by itself. Because if it is really hot and humid, who is there to blame? It's just there. It's just the way it is, right? And after 2 hours, a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, it becomes unpleasant. See, all that movement, right, happens by itself.